when in July 2015, Mohammed Yusuf Abdelaziz opened fire on 2 military installations in Chattanooga in Tennessee, killing 5 people and injuring 3. When an act of terror occurs, what do you think could be done by local leaders to help restore that calm, and more broadly, the wider community, including businesses, the media, institutions? I wonder if you can tell us a bit about your experiences.
Sure, and I think that, I'm not sure if this is on, maybe this. So, I think we all feel these experiences. The funniest thing, it's not funny, but when you started talking about Orlando, I felt like I was back there, remembering seeing you on TV and remembering being at the rally in Chattanooga, speaking in the rain on our vigil. These are visceral experiences for each of us. So every time I talk about this, you feel like you're back there. So one thing to understand about these experiences, and Mayor Dyer just talked a little bit about them, is in the moment they are extremely confusing. It's not clear at all what's happening. You don't know how many people have passed away. You don't know what's going on. In Chattanooga, this was a terrorist attack. We didn't know how many other people were out there. There were lots of rumors. There were rumors that there were other places that were being attacked. A lot was going on. And so one of the things that we try to do is to make sure, number one, that we were clear about what happened and to be transparent. Number two, we were never inaccurate. We were always accurate about that. And number three is to talk about the values of our city and how that played into what we would do in response. So in our situation, the attacker was Muslim. In fact, his father still works for city government. He had gone off, he had left the city, he had gone to Jordan, had been radicalized, and was not living in Chattanooga, but came back for a brief period of time when he committed this atrocity. And the one thing that we wanted to do is to make sure, as Mayor Dyer said, that we didn't funnel our response against the Muslim community in Chattanooga, which was critically important for us. And so we did that in a few ways. Number one is both I and the police chief said over and over again that our duties were to protect each and every person in our community, and that included the Muslim members of our community. And so going forward, we were not going to let that deter us, and that was in fact the duty of every Chattanoogan, was to make sure that was. Number two is, we said we are not going to radicalize one more person as a result of this event. And so we wanted to make sure that no young Muslim man or woman in our community decided, hey, this is just typical of how bad cities are. And so we worked extremely hard to include the Muslim community in every single response. One of the most moving experiences of my life was in our big vigil a couple of days afterward. The leader of the Muslim community got up and he said, I'd like every Muslim here to stand, and it was a huge number of people. And he said, tonight is the last night of Ramadan. We would almost certainly be in temple tonight, but tonight we are Chattanooga's first, Muslim second. And people went crazy. I mean, they were applauding and so thankful for that kind of leadership. So I think one of the things that mayors do, in addition to being clear and providing, I think, the story and leadership for the city, is you have to allow others to lead and to make sure that they can tell that story, because it was more powerful coming from him than it was from me. I worked very hard on my speech that night. I hope it was decent. It was nowhere near what he had to say. And so I think that we have to make sure that we're protecting people, that we're doing a good job of telling the story. We also have to open up and allow others in our community to lead, because we don't want that next radicalization to occur.